We continue our month on Looking Back to Look Forward with Tom Bennet, CEO of Pond5. I'm a huge fan of Pond5 and use them for everything. Besides buying stock media there for my client work, I also buy stock photos and illustrations for Splice Vine as well. Because of their combination of great selection and low prices, they're the first place I check when I start a project. And believe it or not, they're not a sponsor, so consider this a fan vid. In part one of our interview, Tom talks about their After Effects templates and the growing templatization trend in content creation. So Tom, what is Pond5 and what separates your company from the competition?
Right, so Pond5 is a marketplace for creative content, stock media. It's a marketplace for video, audio, photos, illustrations, sound effects, music, and most recently 3D models. And then we also do After Effects templates. And so the idea is it's just a place to buy and sell the raw materials for digital media production. Right now we've got the largest selection of royalty-free stock video on the web. It's over 1 million clips and quickly approaching 1,500,000. So massive selection. Most of that is HD, and really you can find pretty much anything in terms of video there. And then there, millions of photos. We've got vector illustrations. Really, kind of anything that somebody might need to bring their project to the next level or express something that they wouldn't be able to express otherwise. So it's an open marketplace. We've got artists all over the world that upload their content to the site. Uniquely, they set the prices themselves. So, we try and give as much control and kind of creative freedom as possible to our artists. So they set prices themselves, and then they earn a 50% split every time their content licenses, which again is much higher than what's standard in the industry. Typically, most places will do like a 20 or 30% split with the artist. So the combination of those two factors, the setting the prices themselves and the higher royalty split, means that we generally have the lowest prices you're going to find anywhere on the sites. And so it's content that's made accessible to people who might not have used stock footage or other stock media before. And hopefully this kind of brings it into their price range. And we're getting a lot of pickup both on the traditional side of the market. All of the big players in terms of television producers and so on have used Pond5 content, DreamWorks, Discovery, et cetera. But we also have a lot of folks kind of at the sort of more prosumer end of the market who are beginning to use our content, and we've seen a lot of growth there.
So, Tom, the use of project templates as the starting point is a trend that's gaining more and more popularity. Why did you start selling After Effects projects, and do you see a point in the future when you'll be selling other project files like Apple Motion or Cinema 4D?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess to answer the later part of the question first, we're definitely looking at Motion, and we've added Cinema 4D 3D models. But on the template side, Apple Motion is certainly interesting. After Effects is kind of the classic case of stock media. It's the perfect situation where either you don't have the skill set or you don't have the time to create the content. But you can download a template, customize it, make something that's totally unique, totally customized for your purpose, but a lot faster and a lot cheaper than what it would take to do it yourself. So there was a really clear kind of use case, and we had a lot of demand from folks who were purchasing video from us for the templates. So we decided to add it probably a year and a half ago, and they're doing incredibly well. So I think we've got on the order of 3,000 AE templates right now, and they sell really well. If any of your listeners have our After Effects artists, they should definitely look at selling their templates on the site as well as their video and other media, just because there's a huge amount of demand, and I think it's pretty easy to make the case that these things are super useful. So a lot of people, when they get first introduced to Pond5 and they see the After Effects selection, basically break down in tears at that point, because no longer will they spend 8 hours to put together a simple bumper for a client. They'll be able to customize it in a few minutes and render it out and move on to the next project.
Tune in next week when Tom talks about Pond5's 3D assets and his take on the growing 3D marketplace. In the meantime, check out their newly revamped site at pond5.com. The user experience just took a huge leap forward. Also, check out our daily tips from miniature and practical effects guru Fawn Davis of Fonco Creative if you haven't been following along already. He's worked on some of the biggest films of our generation, like the Star Wars series and the Matrix trilogy. If you go to splicevine.com and click on the Workflow Whisperer tab, you'll see his daily progression of fundamentals on the design and fabrication of miniatures and practical effects. See you next week.